Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear me? Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to all. Okay, to Madam Chairman, especially P. Dr. Mashita, supervisors, Professor Dr. Haris, Dr. Zaitun and Dr. Asbah, external assessor Dr. Alif, you had mentioned a lot, you had touched a lot, Dr. Alif, thank you so much. And to the lecturers and participant, and last but not least to our candidate for today, Mr. Ilori Oladapu. Did I pronounce your name correctly? Okay, so let's move on. So I want to make it short and sharp. Okay, did you have your hard copy of your thesis with you? Did you have your hard copy thesis with you now? Oh, you haven't have soft copy. Okay, maybe I will go through page by page. Okay, to be frank, honestly, I really impressed with your work. Okay, you done a good job. Okay, and I go through it and look like I want to know more. Congratulations. But however, to make it better and excellent, maybe I will suggesting some relevant points for you to consider. Okay, so let's move on to maybe page 13. If you can see on page 13, the lines for your paragraph is 17 lines. This is more on minor correction lah. I think it's more on how to make it come better. So maybe my suggestion for each paragraph, you need to make it less than 10 lines. It's possible to make 10 and below. Because it's too long, it's hard for the reader like me to read it. Okay, for such an example, on page 13, maybe you can go through from page to page lah. Alright, the second point, page 16. Okay, in page 16, if I can suggest to you, as mentioned by Dr. Alif, actually recidivism measurement, or we call it definition, differently in the country. Let's say in Malaysia, we highlight 3 years and below. Maybe for Canada, for New Zealand and other countries, they have their own definition, they have their own measurement or calculation on how to calculate the recidivism. So my suggestion, maybe you need to put it in the introduction part, how all over the country, all over the world calculate their recidivism, and how Nigerian themselves calculate the recidivism. So it means it will give beneficial to enrich your thesis. Okay, then page 18 and 19. Okay, for page 18 and 19, as you mentioned in your presentation just now, you mentioned 31.3% go back to prison within 2007 to 2014. As mentioned by Dr. Alif, is an old situation. We need to have a current statistic. What happened actually in Nigeria in terms of the increasing and as you mentioned, as you claim, you say that in Nigeria there is a big issue of increasing recidivism, right? So actually you need to have the current statistics on it. So if you have the current statistic, it will be more productive, it will be more significant for your study. If you just cite from 2007 to 2014, I do believe it will not so so significant to this study. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you agree with it? Okay. So next, maybe we go to page 22. For me, maybe, yeah, we can see your current situation, 2020 to 2021, but there is some citation, some statement you need to have current citation. It means for the theory and so on, it's okay to have an old citation. So for example, like the point is given regarding employees being reluctant to hire ex-prisoners. Okay, so if you can see there, you cite 5 years back. So I do believe if you can have some some articles, some new research on it, maybe you can add on to strengthening your thesis. Okay, and then also page 33, for example, I'm not sure either it can be used or not, but in your thesis you had cite the Wikipedia as your citation. If okay, just proceed. But for me, I do believe Wikipedia is not relevant for the academic writing. Okay, please double check it. And then page 33. Okay, for the page 33, you had mentioned about the correctional system in Malaysia. So actually, as mentioned by Dr. Alif, for me, it's an old citation because it's not fully cover what happened in Malaysia prison actually. Actually, as I can mention to you, in Malaysia we do have separated to three categories: minimum, medium, and maximum. As well as we do have a satellite prison, and also we do have a kind of community rehabilitation center. So I believe because you will face the next stage for Viva, right? So if you give the wrong point of the country, it will give the negative impact to your thesis. So please rewrite it. Please revise it back for the page 33. Are you okay? All right, good. Okay. So can we proceed? Same goes with page 34. Please double check. I'm not sure either you can use the word of generally speaking in your thesis. Is it in the proper way to write an academic rating? Just a minor correction there. So maybe you can revise back the words there. And page 34, you had cite the UK correctional system has a good point there. But actually there is no citation there. So you need to cite where you get it for UK prison. And for page 48, you oftenly you use the word he to refer to Mr. Dolan. So I think rather than use he, maybe you can try to wrap it up. Maybe you can try to summarize what is the statement of Mr. Dolan actually. All right. Okay. And then for page 63. You had mentioned prisons in the world all over have failed in their reformatory objective. Okay, for me, I'm kind of not so agree with it because there is some countries that are success to reduce or they are not fail in the reformatory objective. For such an example, maybe Netherlands and New Zealand, because actually for Netherlands itself, it was recorded that they got a crisis of shortage of prisoner. Means that they don't have a prisoner in Netherlands, so they ask prisoner from other countries to come in their prison. So it means their reformatory objective had been fulfilled. So if you want to put it as your point, I do believe better you get some counter argument or maybe on how to reflect back your statement. Okay. And for also minor correction, page 72, you use a short form, for example, like IE, stand for baby that is, I think. So I'm not sure either you can use or not. And then page 113, if you can see in your, you had put a map there. So, and then I think you need to put the title for that map. I think that map is your state of the place you run your study, right? And then for page 121, you use the word a copy of the approval letter attached in the appendix. But rather than use the attached in the appendix, maybe you can put automatically what is the appendix numbers. Maybe appendix 3, appendix 4, whatever it is. Okay. Okay, we go to chapter 3. Chapter 3 for study instrument. Okay, like mentioned by Dr. Alif, yeah, totally. When you want, from my point of view, if you want to run a pilot study, the instrument need to be checked. Need to be checked to to look after the validity. It means that you do have a construct validity, phase validity, and so on. So if you have do it, I think you need to put it in your thesis. Because things will get ridiculous if they don't have expert to look after your instrument. Okay, and then for page 124, I think here maybe my advice, I need to know from your actual study. Maybe let's say you have, for example, you have 100 items for quantitative study items from your instrument, and then how many items retained, how many items had been eliminated. So my advice, put it in a table. So as a reader, I can look on it and I can know you had run your study. You have a comment on it? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. We proceed. This is also for me my priority, my concern. As you mentioned, you had done your pilot study, because your pilot study for me only in one paragraph. So maybe you can try to enlarge it, just to clarify lah. Because you don't put where it take place, maybe how many involved. Maybe you have, but I miss on it. But if you put it in proper way, reader will know, can see it. Okay, for your pilot study. Alright, we go to chapter 4 for analysis. Okay, so as you know, I think you are better than us. You are better than us. Maybe this is you analyze by using PLS SAM, right? Okay, so as we know, CB SAM and PLS SAM is quite slightly different. So maybe for CB SAM, yeah, you want to look after existing theory. It's more on confirmatory analysis, and then for PLS more on exploratory, right? So maybe for theory building and prediction. So you had mentioned the R square result there, and then you had mentioned that the R square for recidivism was 0.47, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? So it's considered weak. So for me, I do believe this is your priority of your study. This is your priority of your analysis. Why not you elaborate more critical analysis in chapter 5 from the finding of the R square? Because this is the heart of your study. So rather than you just mention in general, so what it means? So we need to do something with it. Okay. So I think that's all from my side, and I pass back. If you have any question, Mr. Ilori or Dr. Ilori will be. Okay. So if you have anything, I will explain more in the form, and then maybe you can look on it. Okay, that's all. I pass back to the Madam Chairman, Associate Professor Dr. Mashita. Thank you so much, Madam.